This is the second part of Dot Wars, adding and subtracting integers. If you haven't already done so, make sure that you download the handout that you will see here on the screen. And if you've already done the first part, you won't need the 2 colors of markers anymore. That was mostly for the first part of the handout. So let's go to where we left off. This is the second page of the handout. And this is all about some strategies for adding and subtracting with positive and negative numbers. On this first example here, you can see that there is a mixture of adding and subtracting, and there's also a mixture of positive and negative numbers. Really need to get in the habit of slashing and dashing whenever you see subtraction. And on this example, the subtraction signs are longer than the negative signs. But we're going to go through and we're going to slash and dash. It's always 2 strokes with your pen or pencil. Slash turns it into adding. Dash turns it into the opposite. It's always the number that comes after the minus sign. Here it is again. Slash changes it to adding. Dash changes the sign to its opposite. So sometimes the dash part, you're turning something into a negative, or you could be turning something into a positive. It just depends on what the number was before. Now, this is the part that I really like, and most of the students that I've introduced this to really like this as well. And it's looking for 0 pairs. And remember, we talked about 0 pairs is when you have a red dot and a green dot that cancel each other out. Well, hopefully you can see this, that there is a -5 right here, and there's a +5 right here. If you picture the Dot Wars, you can imagine 5 red dots, 5 green dots, they all cancel each other out. These numbers are 0 pairs, so they just cancel each other out. And now all we have to focus on is the -6 plus the +3. And again, hopefully you're getting to the point where you don't have to actually draw the dots, but it's okay if you have to. But hopefully you can see that the -6 is going to be the winner, so the answer is going to have a negative. And because the signs are different, we subtract. 6 minus 3 is 3, so the answer to this one is -3. So can you see how nice it is when you know about that 0 pair strategy? Let's look at the second one. Let's do our slash and dash. This time there's only one subtraction sign, so I slash and dash, turning it to adding the opposite. Now, there's a 0 pair in here, but it's kind of hidden. I'm going to give you a few seconds to look at it, or you can pause the video. See if you can find the 0 pair that's in here. Okay, here's a +10. And do you see this? Here is a -10. When you put the -3 and the -7 together, that makes -10, which cancels out with this +10. And that leaves just the 6. So the answer to this one is a +6. It's kind of a nice little trick. I want to throw in a word problem here just because it is something that's really important, and they can really mess up people, especially when the problem has to do with temperatures. Temperatures I probably show up on standardized tests more than anything, and it really seems like they'll put in a problem like this. So this is a true story. On January 23rd in 1916, the temperature in Browning, Montana was a chilly 44 degrees Fahrenheit, but it was going to get a lot colder. Within a 24-hour period, the temperature would drop down to -56 degrees. By how many degrees did the temperature drop? When I'm doing a temperature problem, I will typically draw a thermometer. Isn't that a fabulous thermometer? Okay, it tells us that the temperature was 44 degrees to begin with. So here's my little hash mark on the thermometer, and it's 44 degrees. I'm going to put a 0 right here. Here's 0 where 0 is on the thermometer. And a negative 56 means it's 56 degrees below 0. So that is going to be all the way down here. When we're trying to find out how much the temperature dropped, we would usually do subtraction. Now I'm going to do this in red to make sure that everybody understands that this is not how you do this. So I'm even going to write no. I will have students go, oh, it's dropping the temperature, so I'm going to do this. And they might even capture, get, oh, it's slash and dash. So this is going to be 56 minus 44, and they're going to get a wrong answer. It dropped 12 degrees. Well, no, not really. All right, let's see if we can get the eraser working here. Come on. I'm going to pause the video for a second. Okay. Here's what I want you to notice. When the temperature drops from 44 down to 0, it drops by 44 degrees. And when it drops from the 0 down to the 56, it drops another 56 degrees. So 44 and 56. Can you see how we end up having to add these together? The answer to this problem is that the temperature dropped 100 degrees, which is just amazing to me, living in Southern California, where the temperature rarely gets lower than 27 degrees. So I can't even imagine what negative 56 degrees feels like. Just so that you can see how the slash and dash thing works, though, take a look at this. If it was 44 degrees, really, when you're trying to find out how much it dropped, you would subtract, but you have to remember that it was a negative 56 degrees. Now when you do slash and dash, you should be able to see. I'm looking for a, you know what, I want pink. Where's my pink? So ridiculous. Okay. You slash and dash, and you do end up with 100 degrees. So you're still going to get the same result, but by drawing a picture, it really helps to clarify it, and it's going to help you make sure that you don't make a careless mistake. And that is pretty much it for Dot Wars.